Our next guest is the founder of People Farm, an organization dedicated to animal welfare and sustainable living. And he's also the author of Happiness Happens, where he shares his personal journey, life lessons, and thoughts on finding true happiness through a honest and inspiring way. Please welcome Robin Singh.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Simon.
Robin, tell me what inspired you while writing the book. Is there a particular experience, or is there a particular phase in your life you were at that time there? Sort of.
So there were a couple of things. When I was running People Farm, I started because I had stumbled upon purpose. I had already given up on happiness. And it was only after a few years I felt content. I felt, oh, this is the happiness that I always sought but could not define, could not find. So there were two things. One was like, okay, we get happiness not directly pursuing it, but as a consequence of a meaningful life. And second thing that dawned on me was that anything that we do, we have to drive, we learn to drive, we have to cook, we have to learn to cook.
Yeah.
But we never learn to live, or we never learn to be happy. So how can we expect to be happy? So that's when I thought that I should pen down my journey and the realizations I had.
Uh, so, base, so basically, is there a particular point where you thought that people need to know more about happiness and knowing themselves and why they need to be happy to live their life?
So that realization which we just talked about, that crept gradually. So there was no turning point for that realization, but the turning point was what got me there. I was living in the US. I was running a tech company, and my goal was I want to be financially independent. By 2010, I got there. So I could do whatever I want, travel. I was already married, had a house, had a car, and didn't have to work. And I thought that should make me happy, but I wasn't happy. And it was my pursuit of happiness that brought me to India. And while pursuing that happiness in India, I tried various things. I bought a Jeep, I became a traveler, I became a hippie, nothing worked out. And I met this woman, and she was taking care of a lot of dogs. She was old, she was broke, she was anemic, and she was taking care of 40 to 60 dogs by taking food scraps from the restaurant. And that made me feel really ashamed that she has nothing and she is still giving, and I have everything and I'm still wanting more. So that was the turning point where I stopped pursuing happiness and started pursuing purpose.
Nice. So you're an animal lover, are you?
I wouldn't say that. I'm a suffering hater.
As in?
As in, I don't have a particular, oh, I wanted to work for animals. But while pursuing happiness, a few realizations I had was that one thing we all have in common is whether you're a woman or a man, Indian American, a cow or a human, an earthworm, we all avoid physical pain.
Yeah.
So that I found was that is an objectively bad thing. So that is why I chose to work against suffering, work on alleviating, work on removing suffering. And animals are on the lowest rung of the ladder, so started with animals.
Very nice. I am an animal lover, so yeah. So my next question will be, how did your journey with People Farm shape the thought that are shared in this book?
See, people farm gave me I had a philosophy of life before People Farm, which was I want to live in a way where I cause minimum suffering, and I want to live to alleviate maximum suffering. So People Farm was the manifestation of that. Now we usually do good work with an expectation that it's going to feel good, and in the moment it can. You find a puppy, you cuddle the puppy, you feed the puppy, you feel good. But if you're doing it day in day out, long term, you see so much suffering that things get worse. So for a few years, I did it just purely on willpower, that this is the only worthwhile thing to do. It didn't feel good. I was miserable. And then eventually I felt contentment. So People Farm made that happen. It made me realize that it takes a few years for our brains to rewire, where we, rather than trying to derive feel good from pleasure, we derive feel good from knowing that we are doing good.
So how is your journey basically? Matlab, you talked about that you were not happy at a moment in your life.
I wasn't, but now I am.
Now you are. So how is the journey? Because basically currently people are suffering from unhappiness in themselves. They don't express it, but they have it in their heart. There's an ache in their heart because they're not happy basically. So do you wanna say anything to
Yeah.
those kind of people who are not happy? How can they be happy and how can they just explore themselves in a way?
See, there's a lot that's packed into that question, so I'm trying to address it bit by bit. One is, we all pretend to be unhappy, to be happy, which is an epidemic, because what happens is, you are doing you're doing certain things. I am doing the same things, and I see you are happy. Why is it not working for me? Because I don't realize that I don't have access to your interior. I only have access to your exterior. So I'm doing the same damn things. I'm unhappy. So one, we have to realize that most people are lying. Second, you have to define happiness. If you cannot define where you want to get, how will you get there? So my definition of happiness is, it's absence of suffering. When you're not physically suffering, when you're not emotionally suffering, and when you're not existentially suffering, as in you have an answer for what am I living for, that's when you become happy. But again, that's a shortcut of language. It's not like I'm happy means I'm going to be ecstatic at all the time. It's more of a skill. It's more of a I have learned how to be in a certain state, so more times than not I'm happy. Doesn't mean all the time, so you have to adjust that expectation. Third, unless you have a purpose, it will be very hard for you to be happy. Especially people who have intellect, they need a purpose beyond these menial things life has to offer. The social template of कि पढ़ो, पैसा कमाओ, शादी करो, बच्चे पैदा करो, उनको भी वही सब सिखाओ. That's not gonna work for people with intellect. If you have empathy, that purpose has to be helping others. Otherwise, it would be very hard for you to be happy. But the road to happiness is also hard, like setting a purpose and then being able to work towards it.
Rightly put, sir. Very nice. It was really a thoughtful thing because people don't feel happiness in themselves right now. They're just living in the world where they pretend to be happy. So I guess this book will help them to find their way to happiness.
I sure hope so. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.